Hi, Kev the Builder here, and I'm on a roof up in Hove at the moment, and obviously we're very high up, we're about 5-6 stories high, and today we're looking at the general roofs, and we're going to be looking at chimney initially. So this is the chimney, itself. Okay, typically that's obviously used to be used for a lot of open fires and fireplaces, still live sometimes. Obviously some have been decommissioned, but needless to say the chimneys are still in place with the chimney pots themselves up there, and then above is a cowl. A cowl is a covering over the chimney pot that they use for obviously reducing the amount of water that's coming down the chimney pot. Obviously with the seagulls as well, with food and nesting, and obviously disturbance, all that stops the rubbish coming down the chimney pot here. Below the chimney pot, to secure that, and the chimney pot is in the chimney, is a thing called flaunchings, which is sand cement base around the chimney pot, which helps secure the chimney pot into the chimney. So that's basically the setup of a typical, this is a typical Victorian property, and then we'll have a look at the roof. So looking at the roof, we normally have a normal, when they were built, probably a slate roof. These would have been slate some time ago, but they're now not. They've been replaced about 1970s. Generally seem to be general purpose tiles, very cheap concrete tiles. These are Redland 49s, the make being called Redlands, and they were generally always red, and you can see some of the spores of red there, but they come in different colours now. You can get them in grey. These are concrete tiles. They're very heavy and very durable, not like the light slates from slate valleys. They don't break. They break easily, slate, where these are concrete moulded. They're very heavy. The great thing about these, I love these, I have them on my house, and basically they're interlocking tiles, so you can slide them in, they interlock into each other. So because we've got a lot of high winds up here and weather prevailing off the coast, obviously they're ideal because they're heavy and they interlock into each other, and then it ties them all together. This up here, the half round thing, this is called the ridge tile because it sits on the ridge of the roof, which is ideal. And then further over there you can see that's called the firewall. So basically they put the firewall in there to stop fires between one house and the next house. So when you've got semi-detached or detached houses, detached houses, you need a firewall. All because the old days in London and Pudding Lane, and obviously the fires went through all the houses, all wood, and they just burnt all the way through. So the Victorians, especially when they started doing mass builds, they decided that they were going to put a firewall in between each particular house, so if there was a fire in this house it wouldn't carry through to the next house. So it's a brilliant idea, and they're called firewalls. If you have a look all the way up the top to the apex and then all the way down, see that grey over there, you can see that that's been aquapole. It's a make of a product, it's fiberglassing. So basically it's a fiberglass resin that you can paint on and apply to the actual masonry onto the firewall to protect it. It kind of gives it a bit more life. Doesn't mean to say it's going to last forever. The best is to take this firewall off, hack it off down to brickwork, put a scratch and then a render coat on it with a waterproofer, and reshape it into that old thing. You're now seeing, if you have a look a bit further, you can see the cracks. See what happens is when they start cracking that render, it then obviously starts now, then obviously allow water penetration. If you have a look down there as well, it's all lead, so it's all got lead dressing, it's called, and they put code 4 lead or code 5 lead, which is the thickness of the lead. So the code 4's sort of thinner lead, and then that's generally code 4 that goes in. It gets dressed into the firewall on the upstand, and then it carries over on the top of the actual tiles themselves. So that's so we just covered it. So that's the ridge tile, that's the firewall, that's the lead flashing up there going up, and that's aquapole or covering repair It comes in grey, white and black, which commonly get used by roofers. So that's the basic roofing. Also there, that's interesting, there we've got a dormer coming out, so when anything comes out the roof is a dormer, and there you've got a valley, so you see the top of that ridge there, it goes down, and as it goes down it has a channel that allows the water to go through and down, and that's called the valley, and that's why it's called the valley, because it allows water through the valley. Okay, that's the basics of roofing.